family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
Johnny, now!
As a family.
Hold on!
Today, we are your defenders. The four of us will face the danger. And we will protect you.
Is this guy good? The clobbering time? Oh, yeah!
I finally knocked it off the list.
List.
The new spacesuits.
I take back every single bad thing I've been saying about you. To myself. In private. Okay, we should eat.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel dropped a brand new Fantastic Four trailer with a couple different clips. They also revealed their very, very large Galactus popcorn bucket, which I think we all expected them to do. Like, why wouldn't you do Galactus's head as the popcorn bucket, which is supposed to be one of the largest popcorn buckets that anybody has ever sold? Look at the hand for scale here. This is ginormous. Part of the joke here is probably that it's going to take you 4 people just to eat all that popcorn. There's a bunch of really big stuff going on here, though, like our very first official look at Franklin Richards in the movie, new most powerful character that Marvel has ever introduced in the movies. There was also a CCXP Mexico Comic-Con exclusive clip that they released where Silver Surfer and Galactus come for Franklin Richards to try and rip out of Sue Storm's belly while she's busy giving birth to him, and Reed Richards is in the middle of flying them in their spaceship through a black hole to escape from Silver Surfer and Galactus. Notice when Galactus shows up at Earth 2, it actually looks like a black hole opening up like a wormhole, the way that the Celestials travel around the universe in the Eternals movie. Now, I don't think this means, though, that they're going to say that Galactus is a Celestial inside the MCU. I think they're just going to say that Galactus uses similar technology that the Celestials use. But this would also flow with comic book logic. In the comics, he is not a Celestial.
Good judgment.
So it sounds like that's going to be part of how they explain Franklin Richards' crazy powers, is that he's born while they're busy flying through a black hole. But in the comics, they also have another unique way of explaining where Franklin Richards' crazy OP levels of power come from. And it actually goes back to some of the original Fantastic Four comics, but it makes sense in present-day context. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Also, we'll do a giveaway for tickets for the movie because that's the whole reason why they released all this new footage, because tickets are on sale right now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just post all your predictions on the movie based on all the new footage and everything we know so far. Just starting at the beginning of the new trailer, it sounds like Sue Storm is talking to someone inside a room. It could be Silver Surfer. It could be a presentation that they're giving to the rest of the room. I think it's part of the presentation that Reed Richards is giving to everyone else too, where he's telling them that they will protect them from the threat of Galactus. Like, this is after Galactus and Silver Surfer have shown up and scared the crap out of everybody. Your planet is marked for death. Then everybody basically turns to them and says, you're the only group of heroes on this planet. Are you going to protect us? Because they expect them to, because the way they explain their team's history, as they've already gotten their powers a little while ago, they've been so good at protecting the Earth and taking down their different villain groups over the past couple of years they've had their powers, that everybody just assumes that they can solve any problem that's out there. That is until there is a problem as big and powerful as Galactus and Silver Surfer. Short answer, you don't solve that problem because it sounds like Galactus is going to destroy their Earth during the events of the movie. Also, the funny reference here too is family connecting to something bigger than yourself is also a sly wink at Galactus being much, much bigger than themselves. I think the whole connection is a bit of a wink at Franklin Richards' connection to Galactus in the movie, and the reason why he sends Silver Surfer to basically yoink Franklin Richards out of Sue Storm's belly before he's even actually born. It seemingly confirms some of the theories about why Silver Surfer brings Galactus to Earth, like the whole reason why he comes to Earth in the first place, because Silver Surfer, probably like in the original comics with the Norrin Rad version, senses a big output of power on the Earth, and in the context of this movie, that power just happens to be coming from Franklin Richards. Like Galactus and Silver Surfer sense Franklin Richards' power even inside Sue Storm's womb.
It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
There are a lot of rumors about exactly what it is Galactus wants to do with Franklin Richards' power. We will see how many of those wind up being true, though. There's a lot of speculation about what Galactus is actually doing in the movie, in addition to like his regular cosmic purpose that he serves in the comics. There have been a lot of reports that inside the MCU, what they're going to do now, even though this Fantastic Four movie takes place in another universe and they jump to the MCU universe by the end of the movie, is that they'll say that Galactus is a multiversal being and there's only one version in live action across all universes, instead of the comics where there's a different version of Galactus in every single universe. Marvel's already done that with a lot of other characters too. There's a quick montage of Sue Storm continuing her voiceover, saying whatever life throws at us, we'll face it as a family. This seems like just her voiceover from later in the movie when they're trying to figure out how to deal with Galactus, but they don't know how. Like, they don't think there's going to be a way that they can solve it. Because there's some separate footage of Reed Richards who also says there isn't enough time. And I think the whole idea is that he runs all these different calculations, and even though he's the smartest man alive, he gets to that point in the movie where it's very time runs out kind of scenario, saying that everything dies. Like, he comes to the realization that there is nothing they can do to actually stop Galactus. So what do they do then if they know they can't stop Galactus? Like, how do they solve things? Do they sacrifice themselves, and that's how they wind up in the MCU? Like, in the process of trying to save themselves to stop Galactus, do they accidentally travel to the MCU? Or does he purposefully take them to the MCU across dimensions to try and save them as sort of a life raft situation? When we actually get the first look at Franklin Richards, it looks like they're still inside the Baxter building. She's already given birth, so based on that Mexico CCXP clip where Silver Surfer comes and tries to rip her out of Sue Storm's womb, I think that confirms that she gives birth to Franklin Richards while they're in space on their spaceship, corresponding to this footage here where you see her powers going on the fritz and Reed Richards is cradling over her, but she seemingly vanishes, like her powers start going out of control. The way the clip goes, the Fantastic Four are inside their ship, and Sue starts to go into labor, but the Silver Surfer is chasing them. Ben takes over the ship, because remember, he's their pilot, even though he turns into rock form. You also see he's the one to drive the Fantastic car, because he is their pilot. Ben takes over their spaceship and tries to start dodging Silver Surfer. They jump into a kind of hyperspace, so apparently they spent extra time polishing the special effects, which I think bodes well. We see Reed Richards stretching using his powers. The Silver Surfer almost reaches Sue's belly. She wants the baby. Johnny takes over the ship's cannons and tries to shoot the Silver Surfer, so they do have defenses on their spaceship.
Is this guy good?
Johnny makes jokes about Silver Surfer being sexy. Sue then continues to have contractions, and Reed tells Ben to go into a black hole. Ben gets worried. Reed tells Ben to trust him, and that's the end of the scene. My guess is they go into that black hole, and that's when Franklin Richards is born. So the reason why he has so much power in the comics, they might add the black hole twist on top of this inside the MCU. But the idea in the comics is that Franklin Richards, while he's inside Sue Storm's womb, starts to siphon off the cosmic rays that gave the Fantastic Four their powers originally in the comics. So inadvertently, Franklin Richards begins to take in all the different power that gave the Fantastic Four their powers. Reed Richards then steals the cosmic control rod that was originally wielded by Annihilus in the negative zone, and that's used to control the power of an entire universe, which Annihilus used in the negative zone to completely take over that universe. Reed Richards then uses the cosmic control rod to try and stabilize Franklin Richards to try and save his life, and Franklin Richards winds up absorbing part of the power of the cosmic control rod, which explains why he's such a powerful reality warper. We will see how powerful they make him in the MCU. I expect them to just adjust his power levels a little bit so that everybody's a little bit more balanced, but he's on the level of, say, like Scarlet Witch inside the Hex, like pure God-level power, very fine level of control over all aspects of reality. So you have to imagine if Scarlet Witch were able to say like put a hex over the entire universe, that's how powerful Franklin Richards is, at least in the comics. When it comes to Avengers Doomsday, think about it this way. They say that takes place 14 months after the end of the Thunderbolts movie, so my assumption is that Franklin Richards, when the Fantastic Four show up in that post-credit scene, like a little bit of time has gone by, but he's still very tiny baby during that. Not that much time has gone by since the end of the Fantastic Four movie. And the way they explain that Thunderbolts post-credit scene is that's meant to be the very beginning of Avengers Doomsday. So my assumption is that for most of the Fantastic Four movie, Franklin Richards will be very tiny baby, maybe like a little bit bigger by the time Avengers Secret Wars happens. There have been a lot of reports, too, about there being a screening with them actually showing the post-credit scene to people and Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom showing up in that post-credit scene and have something to do with Dr. Doom wanting Franklin Richards. A lot of the descriptions of the scene actually read a little bit like the end of the Incredibles movie when Syndrome tries to steal Jack. So that's why I think it might not actually be true. Like, why would they rip off the Incredibles movie, which also people make references to as being one of the best Fantastic Four movies so far? So do not be surprised if it's a completely different post-credit scene with Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom, which often is the case. Like, usually a lot of these reports wind up not being true. But it is plausible that in the MCU, Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom will try to use Franklin Richards' power to try and save the multiverse, which they kind of wind up doing during the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars run during the 2010s, which it sounds like a lot of their version of Secret Wars in the MCU movies with the Russo brothers will be based on, even though they will probably make significant changes to that from the comics, the way they did with the Infinity Saga, Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Like, they always change the comics a lot. One of the other funny details, too, is that people were asking Vanessa Kirby how they're going to stop Galactus in the movie, and she basically had this sly wink where she said, it's not only the adults that have powers, basically explaining that one of the ways that they actually stop Galactus, or at least slow him down in the movie, is by actually using Franklin Richards' powers, probably inadvertently, because he is a tiny baby. So Reed Richards probably learns about his powers, but they don't know how to control them yet. So we'll probably get some crazy moment like that in the movie where Franklin Richards does something really surprising or big with his powers without them understanding how he did it. And we finally get a clobbering time in the actual trailers. People have been wondering, is he going to say it in the movie? And they kept joking about it a while ago. But it's actually Johnny Storm who says it first during this. So maybe that's the way it goes down in the movie. Or maybe we hear Ben Grimm say it at some point previously before this in the movie. But now we can actually say it's clobbering time. Good luck actually getting one of these popcorn buckets. Every single time I go to the theaters, no matter how early I try to go to showings, every popcorn bucket for every movie is always sold out. If you do wind up getting one of these, let me know in the comments at some point, but they probably won't start selling them till like a couple weeks before the actual movie comes out in July. In related news, because the Superman movie is coming out within 2 weeks of this, tickets are supposed to go on sale next week, and we should get another new trailer for Superman to go along with that, just like we're getting a new Fantastic Four trailer footage for this. Whatever they wind up releasing, of course I will do videos about it, but let me know in the comments what you want Marvel to do with Franklin Richards in the future of the MCU. Like, how do you want them to handle him if he's going to be so powerful? Everybody just post all your theories for what that Fantastic Four post-credit scene is going to be in the comments. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. Click here for all my other Fantastic Four trailers, and click here for my brand new Superman video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.